standard. Welcome again to the English class as we are on the explanation of the poem A Legend of the Northland by Phoebe Cary. Now, as you know that we have already completed till stanza number 10, and in stanza number 10 we have studied that the lady has clearly denied to give any piece of cake, any single piece of cake to the Saint Peter, in spite of requesting and in spite of knowing the condition of the saint. She said that she is unable to give a single piece of cake because she feels that her cake are too large when there is a matter to give the cake to anybody else. But when she eats the cake herself, she feels it quite little. So she clearly said that she can't give any cake to the saint. Now, from stanza number 11, then good Saint Peter grew angry, for he was hungry and faint, and surely such a woman was enough to provoke a saint. Then good Saint Peter grew angry. Then good Saint Peter, the virtuous saint that was preaching and that was walking, preaching the people, he was angry because he was faint. He was about to faint. He was hungry. He has not eaten anything. So, for he was hungry and faint. Saint was hungry and faint. Obviously, he will be angry. And as it is considered that the saints are the type of people that that are not easily made um, provoked and made angry, and but the behavior of the woman made Saint Peter angry, and surely such a woman, and surely the woman that made him angry was enough to provoke a saint, a type of lady that was not even ready to give a small piece of cake to Saint Peter was sufficient enough to arouse a saint anger. Now the Saint Peter was extremely angry at the behavior of the lady, woman, and the stranger described that. Therefore, the stranger describes the reaction of Saint Peter to the woman at her inhuman behavior. By this, she made Saint Peter angry. Now, from the next stanza, and he said, You are far too selfish to dwell in a human form. Now, Saint Peter is angry, and obviously, as he is angry, he cursed the lady, and he said that the lady is very selfish to dwell in a human form, means the lady, the woman that denied him for a single piece of cake doesn't deserve to be a human. She should be uh, she should not be a human. To have both food and shelter and all the comforts and luxuries that are achieved by human beings should not be given to the lady, because she is ingenerous, she is inhuman, and she even didn't take pity on Saint Peter. So that's why Saint Peter calls her a selfish woman, and tells that she was not therefore deserving of the comfortable lifestyle that had been granted to human beings, such as a house for shelter. A house for shelter means a place where we live, water to keep clean, and food to eat, and food and shelter and food to eat, and even fire to keep you warm. The lady should not be provided with a fire to keep them warm. It means the lady should not have any comforts that should be imparted to the human beings because of her ingenerous behavior. From stranger number 13. Now you shall build as the birds do. A wood curse Saint Peter would give to the lady. Saint Peter calls her already selfish and tells that she should not deserve any human comforts. Then she cursed the little woman, and deprived her of all these comforts. And he remarked that she would have she would have to build as the birds do, and shall get your scanty food. The the woman has to make her home, build her home like the birds build. जैसे birds बनाती हैं ऐसे she should have make her home and shall get your scanty food, and the lady has to get her scanty food uh, by digging holes, means by boring and boring and boring, means by digging and digging all day in the hard dry wood, all day in the hard dry wood. The lady has to acquire her food, as she will not be a human being no more, and she has to dig in the trees, and she has to collect her food by boring and boring, means by digging and digging, and all day long she has to dig in the dry wood in order to get her scanty food. You can see the tree here, and here is the woodpecker bird. ठीक है, that is described in stranger number this. Now from stranger number 14. The curse has given by the saint to the woman, and now a strange thing happened to him. What is the strange thing? You are seeing here a picture that here it is a cottage, and the lady is here, and the lady is flying above the chimney. So what would be happened then? The Here we can see the bird. Now let's study the stranger number 14 so that we can understand that what are these things. Then up she went through the chimney. Then what happened to the lady? Up she went. Suddenly, as St. Peter cursed the lady, then the lady was seen going up the chimney of her house, never speaking a word. And the lady was now not able to speak a word. Without saying a word, the lady went to the chimney. She was seen going up the chimney of her house, speechless, and out of the top flew a woodpecker. Out of the top पर ऊपर से क्या दिखाई दे रहा था? एक woodpecker को देखा गया था, for she was changed to a bird. Now we can understand what can be seen. The woman was seen going up the chimney of her house, that was not able to speak. She was speechless, and a woodpecker could be seen flying out of her chimney. Now it is clear what would be happen to the woman. The woman is now changed into a bird. She had begun. She had become a woodpecker now. as you are uh, as you are seeing in the picture, tree, then the woodpecker is here, and it is a hearth from where the lady started flying by the chimney in the sky. Stage number 15. She had a scarlet cap on her head, and that was left the same. But all the rest of her clothes were burned black as a coal in the flame. The lady, while flying through the chimney in the sky, had a scarlet cap on her head. What is scarlet? Scarlet is a brilliant red color. So now she had a scarlet cap on her head, and it was left the same. But all the rest of her clothes were burned. The lady, while flying in the sky, um, becoming a woodpecker, then at the time she had a scarlet cap, she had a brilliant red colored cap on her head, and that was left the same. That is the thing on her body was remained same after becoming a woodpecker, but all the rest of her clothes, as she was flying through the chimney to the sky, the rest of her clothes were burnt, and because of burning, the clothes are like black as a coal in the flame. Like this one, the red color scarlet cap is this. This one is red color scarlet cap, and the rest of the clothes are burnt due to due to the flame, and these are becoming like a coil. Now, as in the last two stanzas of the poem, it is described by the poet that the woodpecker gets its red cap. But how? So, क्यों किस तरीके से उसके सर पे एक रेड कैप था? बिकॉज at the time of becoming a woodpecker, at the time of coming outside from the chimney, the lady had wore a deep red color scarlet cap on her head that was left untouched, and that's why उसकी जो पूरी बाकी जो rest of clothes थे that were burned to ashes, and that's why the bird's head was still the same shade of red. And now, and every country schoolboy, means every village schoolboy, has seen her in the wood. Now the woodpecker can be seen by every schoolboy, every village schoolboy, where she lives in the trees very day. Till this very day, from that time when the woman was changed into a woodpecker, and the woodpecker can be seen by the countryside boy, by the village schoolboys, in the woods, in the forest, and picking, means boring and boring for food, means at the bark, into the bark of the trees, the she can be seen, it can be seen searching for food to eat by digging in the by pricking in the trees. The little woman that is now a woodpecker can be seen by the village boys in order to get her food. The poem is completed. I hope you have understood the poem very well. Some of the literary devices are used in the poem, like assonance is used in repetition of vowel sounds, like in away and away. Consonance is also used here, What is consonance? Consonance is the repetition of consonant sounds, and as well allusion is used here. What is allusion? Allusion is reference to a historical or literary person or event, that is like Saint Peter. Now simile is used here. What is simile? Simile is a comparison of two different things and that are having at least one point in common. And words of comparison are so, like, or as. The children look like bear's cubs and black as a coil. These are the examples of simile. And repetition, boring and boring and boring. And one more literary device is used here, that is personification, means giving human characteristics to inanimated things. Listen to Pity's goal. Pity is used here as like Pity is a human being, so personification is used here. The poem is completely explained to you. I hope you have liked this. Thank you. Have a nice day.